she had the 21st or something on there. Is that right?
Sure.
Oh, thank you. Tammy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Becky, are we ready?
Yep.
Very good. Good morning. It is Monday, February 10th, 2025. I will call the meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners to order. A couple of announcements. The Lincoln County Board of Commissioners reserves the right to enter closed session at any time as necessary to discuss an agenda item currently before the board. The Lincoln County Board of Commissioners reserves the right to take agenda items out of order for the convenience of parties involved. We may do that today. Emergency manager, director might stop in and give us an update about the derailment out there. So if Brendan has time, he said he would stop by and give us an update. So we'll just let him do his presentation and then get back out on the scene. We will be following the Open Meetings Act, which is posted at the entrance to the room. At 9:15, we will recess as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners and meet as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization, also following the Open Meetings Act. Our first agenda item is to open with prayer. Commissioner Hughley.
Will you join me? Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for the many blessings that we have in this country and around this table. We would ask that you impart a little wisdom with us in our deliberations today. We would ask, Father, as always, that you be with those less fortunate than ourselves, and that a lot of people suffering today, and you put a hand on them. We would ask that you be with our men and women in armed forces, along with our first responders that protect the many rights that we have. We pray these in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Joe, were you talking about the people suffering being Chiefs fans?
That doesn't even fit in that category.
With that said, we will move on.
I almost.
I will seek a motion to approve the minutes regarding the Lincoln County Board of Commissioner meeting held on February 3rd, 2025.
I would make a motion that we approve the minutes from the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners meeting held on February 3rd, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hughley,
Aye.
Woodruff,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns,
Abstain?
Wooler.
Aye. We will consider the following, the claims and treasurer's receipts.
Make a motion to approve the claims and treasurer's receipts as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Woodruff,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye. Next order is to receive and order file the fee reports submitted by the county sheriff, the county clerk, and the register of deeds.
Madam Chair, I'd make a motion we receive and order file the fee reports from the county sheriff, county clerk, and register of deeds as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Hughley,
Aye.
Bruns,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Woodruff,
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye. Now we will discuss and consider the adoption of resolution number 2025-03, adding pest and predator control fees to our fee schedule. Becky, would you like to speak to this, or Tyler?
I can. Several years ago, the state auditor suggested we do a fee schedule of all the fees in the county, so we'd have them all in one spot. So we did that. So this is, I think, the fourth or third amendment to them to add for things that have changed, just to keep that fee schedule up to date for us and for the auditors.
Very good.
Chair, I would make a motion that we adopt resolution number 2025-03, adding pest and predator control fees to the fee schedule as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Woodruff.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Here's the fee.
I don't remember it, maybe you do. The last one, that half.
That. No, I don't remember that at all.
Must have been a state vehicle or something.
Oh, yeah, could have been extension.
Maybe extension.
That's just a regular phone bill, long distance. The whole courthouse, the whole county.
It is 9:15. We will recess as the Board of Commissioners and convene as the Lincoln County Board of Equalization following the Open Meetings Act, which is posted at the door. Our first order of business is to approve the minutes regarding the Lincoln County Board of Equalization meeting that was held on February 3rd, 2025.
I would move that we approve those minutes regarding the Lincoln County Board of Equalization held on February 3 of 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call?
Woodruff,
Aye.
Weems,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Bruns,
Abstain.
Wheeler.
Aye. Next, we will review the certificates of correction and refund as submitted by the county treasurer, or assessor. Thank you.
Good morning, Julie Stinger, Lincoln County Assessor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just have one this morning. It is a mobile home that apparently got moved to Keith County in December of 2023. So no one let us know that. So we're going to do a tax list correction for 2024. We did call and verify with Keith County that it is there and was on their tax rolls for 2024. So we'll take it off of ours for 2024.
What's that?
The dollar amount.
It is for $251.58 and a taxless correction, you said.
Yep.
Correct. Any other questions?
Be my motion to approve the certificates of correction and refund as submitted by the county assessor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions for Julie or discussion? Roll call, please.
Weems,
Aye.
Bruns,
Aye.
Woodruff,
Aye.
Hughley,
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. Thank you, Julie. Is there any other business to come before the County Board of Equalization? With that, we will adjourn at 9:17 and reconvene as the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners. Our next agenda item is at 9:20.
keep an eye open, right?
It is 9:20. Our agenda item is discuss and consider setting a date to accept bids for vehicles for the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Good morning.
Good morning. Captain Newton, Lieutenant Connell for the Sheriff's Office.
Lieutenant Connell, how's the other guy look?
Not too bad.
The driveway's just fine.
Uh-oh. We did have some ice recently, didn't we?
We'd went to bid for pickups last fall and the bids come back 49 and 54,000, way outside of our budget, so we went back and looking at SUVs this time, we need to cut 5,000 to 8,000 per unit off, and I think we can do that with an SUV. The pickups are just, the police package Ford is the only one that returned a bid, was almost 55,000. That's way outside of our budget, so looking to get into something. I've talked extensively with Nebraska State Patrol. They're running Fords and the Dodge Durangos. Police department's running the Ford SUVs. They both like them as long as you get the right motor. So I really opened up the bid. The minimum engine size is a 3.0, which includes the Ford Coyote motor, but not really sold on a 6-cylinder for police work, but NSP's got some and they're working. So we let the dealerships really get creative and give us bids back on hopefully more than one option for their brand.
Captain, you guys have always done a good job of trying to buy local, and I know that historically the board supported that, of course, but in the, you hit the nail on the head with budgets and cost. Is it something you guys might look at as far as getting a bellwether, as far as price on state net bids?
I know what the state bid on.
I assumed you did.
All four of those, the 6-cylinder Dodge, the 8-cylinder Hemi, and the Dodge, and both options for the Ford. So I plan on, those state bids are not secretive.
No, they're
It's
not.
public information, so I'm gonna print
But I bring it up
all
for
those off
discussion.
and deliver it to our local dealerships, and
Yep.
they've always done pretty good at getting close. There's an outfitter out of Kansas that sells brand new units. They'll sell brand new units and outfit them for you, which is way above what we're paying our guy to come in and set our own stuff up, so we would not look at that option, but they're selling brand new Durangos and twin turbo Fords all the time, so I've got those emails, so we'll put it out there, and the state bid is always the state bid. If we don't like the local bids, we can go buy from the state without going to bid.
What date are we hoping to do this?
That's what we have to set. Usually about 3 weeks out.
March 3rd, we have the 1 and 6 at 10 o'clock, so that would be about an hour, so we can do it before or after.
Does the third work for you, okay?
Absolutely.
9:30.
Sure.
Captain, is there any way you can get an idea on fuel efficiency on some of those vehicles?
Well, that's something I think going to a smaller unit. Our Rams are right about 13. And I think the 6-cylinder is gonna get much better than that, just off the bat. Our Crown Vics, I wish they still made Crown Vics. Not a Ford guy, but that was a cop car. But they would get 17 to 20 with an 8-cylinder.
I was involved in a lease program on a large, at one point in time, and the Durangos were, at that point in time, 30 years ago, were quite poor on fuel efficiency.
We've got, I think we've got one pickup that's getting 10, and I don't know if that's runtime or it's got something wrong with it that we need to look at. But that's where our pickups, and we keep track of all that as well, but I've got emails from Trooper Hayes with NSP that's driving a Durango, and his fuel mileage is better than our pickups.
Okay,
With
good.
the Hemi.
Good.
So the gearing difference or something in that unit is making it get about 4 miles per gallon difference. You know, over the course of a lifetime, that's big.
Yeah, it adds up.
Captain, are you looking at 4 units? Is that what you're looking at bidding?
4.
Okay. Ready for a motion, ma'am?
I am.
Make a motion that we set March 3rd at 9:30 as the date to receive bids for the Lake County Sheriff's Office for 4 vehicles.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We've had some challenges with posting notifications. Do we have any concerns with that?
I have not heard anything else from the Telegraph besides my email. I need a little bit today as well.
Okay.
No, with this much time, boy, we'd think we would have plenty of time for meeting all of those requirements easy, no matter how we do it, wouldn't you?
Locally, I hand deliver these 2 days. Always, the day that it goes out for bid, I hand deliver.
I
To
appreciate
the
you taking that
dealers.
extra step.
Yeah, it's great that we give them an opportunity and that you have that great relationship with them.
I know where they go.
Okay, very good. Sounds like we're comfortable with that date then for posting notifications. Roll call, please.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Cooler.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you again March 3rd, if not before.
You know, in case you come back and ask for more money.
Our next agenda item is a presentation by Carolyn Saban of Family First Partnership, with a report on a new tool that you guys have rolled out called Find Help, and on a recent collaboration. So,
So this is Jessica Vogt and Delicia Matta. They're also Family's First Partnership, so.
Would you ladies
ladies,
turn on the
if you'd
mics,
like to
please?
sign in. And just for the record, repeat your names.
Jessica Vogt. Delicia Matta.
And Carolyn Saban.
Good morning, ladies. Nice to see you all here.
Yeah, well, and thank you for the invite. I think it's been 2 or 3 years since we visited with the commissioners. So I'll give just kind of a little background information. Families First Partnership is funded by Nebraska Children and Family Foundation, and the focus is kind of twofold. One of those is prevention work for families and keeping children out of the HHS system. And the other is, collaborating in your community and really making a network with other agencies, organizations, community stakeholders, which is just about anyone in a community. So one of those things that we do is we work with those other initiatives of Nebraska Children, and that would be Rooted in Relationships, Sixpence, Communities for Kids, and then the after-school program. And even though Families First isn't really their boss, we're kind of the umbrella. And so if they have needs, then we try to work to meet those needs and really try to make sure there's not duplication of services and that we're all working together. So that is a big part of what we are doing, and that's also why we have Find Help directory. Let me grab. Do you mind if I
Nope.
just pass them both ways? So the Find Help directory. Okay. All right. Everyone got one? So the Find Help directory is really a new option that Nebraska Children has asked communities to start doing, and it's an online directory. And with that online directory, those who are applying for assistance can find resources in the community. Agencies or organizations can find assistance that's on the community, but our site is only as good as the agencies or groups that sign up and get their information in there. So we're really working with churches, other organizations, just anything, even kids clubs or a boxing club. Get your information in there, because if someone applies for assistance, then we are able to look at that need and see where we can get them connected within the community. And it really has two different purposes. Maybe that family is really, they have a need, but it's a low-level need, and so we can satisfy that low-hanging fruit just by having the directory, versus if those needs escalate and pretty soon they're needing a lot of help with Region 2 or anything that starts taking state money. And so anyway, that this is the statistics from the last quarter of 2024. And so when we say coaching referrals, that those are really people who have requested help on our website. And so as you can see, there were 170. And then when you look at the graph, then there are some that are not eligible for the funding we have, because our funding is primarily for families whose children are in the home. And we do get a lot of requests from seniors, single persons, people on SSI, and if they don't fit our population, we really are kind of in a bind. We have to refer them on to other agencies. But when someone applies, that profile and that request belongs to them. They give consent twice as far as who their information is released to. But even if they apply, if they don't pursue that help, or if they don't make that connection, then those are the ones not updated, because they're still waiting. Have they decided this problem is big enough? Have they self-resolved? And some get help, and then so that kind of explains that first part of it. As you look at how did they hear about the collaborative, and this is just trying to find out how are people accessing services in our area. And the other is really going to be like landlords, municipal light, some of the utility services in the area. And then we have agencies that have case managers that also make that connection. And those first four are the biggest ones: another nonprofit or church, and then a family member or friend. And from there, it just kind of goes on down. And then as far as the bottom graph, then we're seeing what their major needs are. And this is what's interesting. We can update this practically every day. So the results that we can provide any one group are really live, because these are what we're getting as far as requests every single day. And what's kind of interesting here is that transportation used to be one of the big needs, and it has really moved down a lot. And the daily living, which is food, phone bill, they're, you know, basic things to just get through every day. Sometimes that's birth certificates, you know, IDs, that kind of thing. But housing and utilities are still the biggie. And as we all know, dental services are really lacking in our community. So this really helps us say, what are those things that are really needing to be addressed? What do we need to start being proactive on solving? So anyway, this is for the last quarter of 2024, and we do have to turn these results into HHS because part of our funding does come from HHS. And so we have a quarterly report that we turn in to them. And as far as you know, how do people find it? Jessica has done a lot of work on our website and making sure that's a user-friendly application. And so we'll also be giving you these. We've got these in English and Spanish. And so these can be in the courthouse here, in other county buildings, as you please. So we will leave these with you. And but Jess has gotten that application on the website. And so you want to kind of explain how that works on the website?
The Find Help application has been replicated and integrated into our Families First Partnership.org website, so they can fill out the questions: name, birth date, how many children, how many adults are in the home, what is their need. Then that application gets emailed directly to Delicia, our center navigator, who will then call and go through the Find Help intake with them to connect them to a coach, to other resources in the area.
Yeah, so when the applications are completed, then I get them on the computer, be able to reconnect with the individual, go over an interview process, see what resources can help support their need, and then make appropriate connections. Sometimes it's one, and sometimes there's several. And then we find the best coaching supports to help with long-term coaching in the end.
Mm-hmm. And that is a change we've had to implement this past year, is that our grants are now saying you need to have longer term coaching. It can't be just a one and done. They just, you know, they meet the basic, yeah, I'm gonna do this and this and this if you pay my bill. So anyway, things have changed, how we have to approach, and we really appreciate your interest in wanting to know how it works in our community, and even the data, you know, we'd be glad to share that. And the website, we do have a customized site for our community, and that information is there. And we're constantly working with agencies to say, could you get your information updated in there? Because that just makes it so much easier for Delicia to get that referral moved on to them.
When you guys have somebody apply, like, what is the response time from your office back to them average?
Generally 48 hours, unless there's a weekend or a holiday in between. So it's just about, if they're already connected with a supporting program, which is a nice starting point, then we know they have a trustworthy relationship with the supporting coach to begin with. But sometimes the delay might be trying to find the right resource and connecting, coaching support. And they're, you know, they would have to build another relationship with another person. So there's a hesitation there sometimes.
Delicia, I have a question for you. You look at Community Connections, Region 2, Hope Esperanza, HHS. I mean, there's a big pool of help out there. Is one of your main roles being a quarterback, trying to get these people to the right resource?
Right.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. And that is really part of what we do at our collaborative meetings. We have quarterly collaborative meetings, and it's an open invitation to all stakeholders.
Sure.
And so we really work frequently with a lot of those agencies, and depending on the needs of the family. But we also have some community and family enrichment grants that we have awarded to different agencies that it's not big, $500, but if they need some funding to help sponsor a program. So Habitat did a fire extinguisher training one time. Some have done, like, what did Sure do? A horsemanship or horse interaction therapy type thing. So just kind of depending on their focus, you know, we really try to work with what they've got going and support their efforts in the community, because it takes all of us to make changes. So.
Question, if I may. Folks can find this help online, obviously.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Those that may have limited resources to be able to get online, what are some of the other avenues that they could get in touch with you? Do you have an office somewhere?
Right, yes, we do have an office, and Delicia has done intakes over the phone, so that's an option. And a lot of them work with, if they are already working with the agency, they'll have the agency do that. Or we have made paper applications available also, so that they can fill that out and get it to us.
Commissioner Hughley mentioned the other agencies and some that we substantially fund. One specifically would be West Central Health District. So do you proactively collaborate with West Central Health as far as dental needs, for example, which I know these days, they've evolved over 24 years, various different emphasis. But right now, one of their key emphasis is dental. So do you actively collaborate with West Central Health?
That conversation has not come up on the dental. I know they did have a dental department, and they haven't been able to keep staff on. You're talking about the health department?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we've mostly worked with them on health equity information recently, and health equity trainings has been the main thing lately. But I've had conversations with Megan about having other efforts that we do together.
I think that would be an appropriate thing to do with Megan, brand new in the job, and very ambitious as far as reaching out and making an impact. My observation is there's a lot of great organizations, but there's not a lot of cohesiveness between and communication, and you're in the field of assistance, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, and what we're fortunate is that we can communicate with other collaboratives across the state and find out how have they approached problems. So, now that you mentioned this, the Panhandle Partnership is actually what created the Panhandle Health District. And so they would be just a magnificent go-to for that information. How did you work that? How did things fall into place? So thank you for that suggestion. We will get in touch with Megan.
Okay.
Carolyn, 2 years ago, I believe you reached out to me, invited me to one of your community service arrays. I learned a lot that day. And one of the things that we learned, I think there were 60-some people in the room, some of them groups from agencies that work in Lincoln County. It was all just groups that serve Lincoln County. And one of the things that I heard that day was that people got frustrated because they didn't know. Most families needing to ask for help is a new experience for them, and they didn't know where to go. So it sounds to me like you guys responded to that with your Find Help website. So thank you for doing that. I like it when we recognize a need and respond to it. So. The other thing that was a big topic of conversation, and you touched on it earlier, was the transportation part of that. So what happened to improve that?
We brought in the Department of Transportation, and they gave a number of presentations to our community quarterly meeting. And they offered different options where we could be accessing services, whether it was through the enterprise van pool, or actually the Department of Transportation has a really great program that supports public transportation. And it is a 90% reimbursement for your costs. And we are working with the city. They have the survey, and it's kind of the ball's in their court as far as will they expand the public transit. But it is going to be an investment. But and I'm not the person who says I know how that money is going to happen. But anyway, I think that could be a really good way to approach the transportation problem, because if you ever kind of sit in a parking lot around here for very long, you see Hitch and Hay coming through our community. The Ryder from Kearney. The other day I saw the Garden County Public Transportation. They're coming to our community all the time. And so I guess we've got to start feeling like, well, do we say respect your territory, or can we just say whoever needs transportation, here's another option? But I think the others, and this is my feedback from the Department of Transportation contact, is the other public transits have tried to be really respectful of different territories, and so they're not going to start setting up services unless they feel like they've been welcomed in or asked. But I think the thing that needs to be kind of considered in all this is, in order to just even get a bus, there's like an 18 months wait on getting one of the transit buses. So
I know if you don't have reliable transportation, just for the people that live within the city limits, it can be challenging. But what about people from the outlying communities, the villages? Are there options for them for transportation into North Platte if they have an appointment?
Well, we have recommended like Hitch and Hay, if someone is coming from south of Lincoln County that would be coming here for an appointment, then Hitch and Hay will pick them up in Frontier County or Hays County, because they're based, I believe, out of Stratton. So they just make their trip up here, and it costs the person like $2. And then they just sit and wait for them to get through their appointment and take them back. So it's those transit services in bordering counties that are meeting the need for people outside of the Lincoln County area.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll give Jess a minute do you want to hear about the Early Childhood
Absolutely.
Collaborative?
All right, so this collaborative is called the High Plains Early Childhood Collaborative. It is made up of early childhood agencies, childcare providers. There's EDN, Sixpence, Rooted in Relationships, HHS is involved, and a few others as well, including Families First Partnership. We do primarily systems work, so we set up events for families and children around town. We prepare for Play is the Way, which is in a couple of weeks at the end of the month. Play is the Way is indoors at the library. It is a chance for parents to play with their children. There are different stations set up. There's also, we're in the works of setting up a trauma training for parents. This is set up by the Bridge of Hope. They are going to train parents in how to respond to not only their child's trauma, but their own, and how that impacts their child's development. We are preparing for the Week of the Young Child, which is the first week in April. We have different activities at different locations around town for that whole first week, the 5th through the 12th. Starts off with Baby Fest at the library. I think it's at the library? Been at the library.
It's out at actually at the college this year.
At the college this year. And then it will end with Kids on the Bricks. And then we do as well schedule parenting classes, so Positive Solutions for Families, Circle of Security, and PWE, which is parents interacting with infants. That teaches parents how to play with their infants. And then, of course, we discuss other things like how we could set up different trainings for parents, for early childhood providers and teachers.
Very good. All very important work.
Right.
I think we all realize the investment in, from infants to adulthood is so important in investing in our whole community and the individuals.
Right, yeah, it's really focused on prevention work because I really believe, just personally myself, that, you know, if you stabilize children when they're young, then they have more supports and feel secure, and in getting started with new things in life, then you're going to reduce the number that you have going into juvenile justice.
That would be, I'm certain that's correct.
So thank you for the work that you do, and thanks for coming in and,
Yeah.
and updating us and helping us spread the word to the community.
And thank you for your interest and support.
Oh,
And,
you're
you know,
welcome.
from Families
You're
First-
welcome, thank you.
From Families First Partnership. You can look at it if you want.
I will.
Oh, and here's invites for our quarterly meeting. And we're also sponsoring poverty simulation. That's helpful. Sorry.
Becky, can I put this on the bulletin board?
Oh, wow, that's very nice, thank you. That has all the counties in Nebraska on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that,
Up and down your hall.
that's very cool. Thank you so much, and thank you for always reaching out to me and inviting me. I was sorry that I couldn't make the collaboration last week, so it was nice that you came in and updated us all. I think it's important that we all get the information and understand the work that you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Are there goodies to eat in that bag, or?
No,
Oh,
I
shoot,
can give
okay.
you the tissue
No,
paper.
go right ahead, go right ahead.
Carolyn, is it okay if we put some of these on the public areas around the courthouse?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And if you need more, just let us know.
Okay, very good.
Okay, you've got some of these extra too, yeah. Yeah, you're in great shape today.
We are ready now for our discuss and consider rescheduling the public hearing on the 1 and 6 year road improvement plan for Lincoln County to March 3rd, 2025 at 10 a.m.
Good morning, Jason Schultz, Lincoln County Highway Superintendent.
Good morning, Jason.
Yeah, so we did have a little hiccup with our posting for the 1 and 6, so we're just requesting March 3rd at 10 a.m. so we can meet our posting requirement.
Very good.
What was the hiccup?
It required a little more time than the original request allowed for. So, Jason, you discovered that in your research, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
and confirmed with Tyler as well on that, so.
Madam Chair, I'd move that we reschedule the public hearing on the 1 and 6 year road improvement plan for Lincoln County to March 3rd, 2025 at 10 a.m.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Becky, I will assume that you and Jason have already gotten together and that works for our schedule. Very good. No further questions? Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Aye.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Mueller.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. That brings us to our 9:50 item, discuss and consider update to the Lincoln County General Assistance and Medical Assistance Guidelines and set a date for the public hearing.
All right, final talk. What 3 of you have in front of you is what 2 of you have already looked at and talked to me about. That is the effectively about 2/3 of our general and medical assistance guidelines. I pulled out the parts that are not relevant to this discussion, left in the parts where we are adjusting some values, either in the aid that we are going to be offering potentially, or the resource caps or income caps that are taken into account when factoring in what kind of aid we can give. A lot of those things have not been touched in a number of years. Becky and I met with Jada from AJHS, who's actually right over there. I didn't see her sneak in. So I'll probably have her come talk about this too, so come on up, Jada. Went through every number that I have left highlighted in the packets that you have, gave them a 2025 makeover. I brought them more in line with the federal poverty guidelines, but they're still just a little short of that. Incorporated some numbers with some local providers that we had discussed with them as far as the cremations, and then the fee being paid for the monument markers. In a discussion with them, that's also been increased in the proposed guidelines. And so what I have done is I have given this, run it through the subcommittee, talked to Kent and Jerry about it. They expressed no issues to me. It's now in front of the other three of you so we can have a discussion about it before we set a date for our public hearing. Because that is not where we should be figuring out what we want to do. So I
Agreed,
have
thank you.
Jada here who has all the answers to all your burning questions.
Jada, if you would like to sign in and announce your name and who you work for.
All right, I'm Jada Venezi. I work for the Department of Health and Human Services.
Do you want to just kind of give us an outline of the conversation that you had with Tyler and
Sure.
Becky, I believe,
Yeah.
participated?
So we met to discuss several different areas in the GAA manual. There's several things, like Tyler said, that we have not been able to approve for many years, if not decades. So rent, sundries, stuff like that, we have not been able to approve because our guidelines are so low and our income limits are so low. So that's something we talked about. And then we also talked about needing to increase the amount for cremations and the markers, and potentially even adding urns as something that we can provide for people too.
Can you kind of highlight for me what the update, where we were at and what the recommendation is?
So we were at, for cremations, we were at $1,050, and then there were some additional add-ons if certain things pertained. And I think we're proposing to go up to $1,500. And then the urns, we currently do not offer purchase of any urns. And so when I talked to Mike Montgomery's office, he said that they could look at some urns that could be between $200 and $300. Markers at North Platte Monument, they've been providing our markers forever, and we've been doing $310, and they've been losing money on that. And so to just kind of break even, they're requesting an increase to $500. And then our current income guidelines are roughly $850 per one person household, but that's a 3-month average. So that's how we always figure that. And then the rent assistance, the max we can give somebody is $550. Well, there is no place that you can find in Lincoln County for $550. And then sundries are $15.
And so the rent assistance, did you recommend to increase that?
We did.
You actually, did you talk to Stephanie about that?
I talked to someone over at his office, yeah. And they said, I don't have that number with me. I want to say they said between $800 and $900 as of right now.
And so the committee has already had time to look this over, and you guys feel like the recommendation is where it needs to be?
I certainly do. Jada, thank you so much for responding to Becky and Tyler. And Jerry and I intentionally stayed away at that point in time, because God so loved the world, he did not send a committee. So 3 was plenty. The 3 appropriate people blessed us with their time and knowledge. And thanks to Becky for coordinating that for a meeting, and Tyler's hard work. What Jerry and I had come to a conclusion on a number of these values. that should have gone, should go up several months ago, but we were simply waiting for all the pieces to come together. And thanks to you coordinating with those two folks, that has occurred. So that's why Jerry and I really don't have a lot to add, other than just thank you so much for being the key player in helping us bring this up to date so that we can consider it at a public hearing.
Is this type of assistance something that came about through state statute as a requirement? Can we just get a kind of a broad overview of the program? But we have people listening live stream that just may need that as far as a basic understanding of the conversation we're having here.
So I don't know the exact year. It was in the 80s, I
84,
believe.
80, and probably 85 or 86, because it was the county attorney's office was in, then out. Social Security services used to be down there, and that's where it happened when they went over to the other building.
Yeah.
So,
Every county that we work with, so there's a lot of times that counties either contract with DHHS to administer this program for them, or those counties have someone else that they employ to administer these programs. But every county, I believe, is required to have some sort of program like this.
From the state or federal?
I don't
State.
know. Yeah.
The state,
I think it's state statute.
I believe it's state statute, and the lead essentially is HHS. The county simply along for the ride, so to speak. So we really rely heavily on you, Jada, to help us shape this up, for the lack of a better phrase. So that's why this revision it's a statutory timeline thing that through COVID and some other things, we just simply it didn't get done, right?
Correct.
So this is on the track to remedy that, but it is based on state statute.
And I know we used to do so many rents and sundries, and we have not been able to do that
Yeah, so
for a while.
that's kind of where my questions can kind of drill down into is the rental assistance. The types of individuals that we're looking to help provide a service to with this. They're completely unemployed.
Underemployed or disabled.
Okay.
And a lot of them, I think it's really to kind of bridge that gap between the actual disability and getting Social Security. So it's something to kind of help individuals transition into that. Because once they receive Social Security, a lot of times they're over income.
Exactly. So that was where I was going with
Yeah.
my thought process. Is this is not a permanent type assistance that the county's providing to these individuals. It's a stopgap until other programs and services can be
Yeah.
applied to provide the assistance that these individuals are looking
Correct.
for. Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
one time or short term.
Okay. That answers my questions. Just trying to get some
Very,
clarity.
very good, yes. I'm glad that you asked for that.
And does HHS determine the validity of those requests?
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, may I chime in, this isn't it's not a state thing, it's a county thing, a county's responsibility, but we, with the help of Health and Human Services, contracted with them a number of years ago to kind of help out do that, because it's a county responsibility, each county has it. But HHS has the experience, and they've done it for almost every county there is. I don't know of a county, unless maybe Douglas or Lancaster, and I think Douglas does have their own, I think. Maybe Lancaster, but I didn't mean to say it that way. I meant to say is, like Commissioner Weems said, thank you for the help in helping us manage that, because it is a partnership. Thank you.
Just looking through the information that Tyler gave to us this morning, it covers a lot. There's a lot of information in here. But it looks to me like you guys didn't leave stones unturned. You addressed pretty much everything that a person in need may come to you for.
And is it every 3 years we're supposed to update this? Is
Every 2
two,
years.
okay.
Every 2
So
years.
hopefully this is a good start, so that 2 years down the road, then we'll have it on our time frame to start in 3 or 4 months early and kind of work out, right?
We shouldn't be looking at these sorts of jumps 2 years from now either, I wouldn't think.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think it's just because it's been so very long.
Sure, thank you.
There was a
Is
little
that, is that
inflation in there.
2-year requirement by statute?
Yes.
Yes.
So how did we get behind the 8 ball so bad?
COVID had something to do with it, when nobody was available to.
It's not a self-enforcing statute. It creates a legal remedy for someone to file a mandamus action in district court to force it to be done. But until that happens, it's like any number of statutes that the county is supposed to be following that we may or may not comply with 100% right on time.
And it's my understanding that the statute is to review the program. That doesn't mean that there will always be increases or changes made, but we do have an obligation to review it. So thank you all for the time and effort that you put into this. Let's, if anybody has anything else, now's your time. In our packet, we did receive a letter that was shared with all of us from the North Platte Monument Company, and it sounds to me like the request was answered and met, and so.
I think that's worth pointing out. We have private businesses in our community, North Platte Monument Company. There's some individuals that work in burial services sector. They've been doing these services and losing money because they've been doing it as a charity to the community because it's that important. And that's an injustice in my opinion, so.
It's an injustice that needs to be corrected,
It is.
as we're doing here.
Exactly.
And it's my thought that we have addressed that with Jada's help and Tyler and Becky all coming together, people that have dealt with this for a long period of time. And
Like sundries, we haven't been able to do since Elko closed. And she found it, I believe Gary's was
Yeah.
willing to step up and do the
Gary's
sundries
will
for us.
step
And
up.
I mean, Elko's been gone a long time.
a long time, yes. So that's a void that we have not been able to address. So this brings us to a much better position in helping the people that, the poorest of the poor, people that really need the assistance, so.
Back in the pre-dawn time when I was aware of this and worked on it, there was a company in North Platte that provided something that the cemeteries accepted for, you know, we talked about the urn. There was a plastic company in town, I don't know if anybody remembers it, but basically it was in the PVC, a pipe that was cut with 2 ends put on it. That was what was used, and or the standard, you know, box for the cremations, but went back to the other people. So I'm glad to see us look at those things and get up into the 20th century or whatever century we might be in now, because we weren't back then. So thank you.
So I'm finally making it to the back of the, and I see that the cemetery cost has also been addressed in here and brought up to a current standard, so. Tyler, can you tell me, how does that work for the cremations? Do we just utilize one of the funeral homes in the county, or is it goes out to all of them?
All of them.
All of them, so they all have an opportunity to.
Whether they're all willing or not is up to
Correct.
them.
Well, this adjustment should help
It should.
reimburse them at a level, like Commissioner Brunn said, where it's not a burden to them also. We did have one monument company in town, I believe, and so they were carrying it each and every time.
Yes.
And I'm glad to see that come up. So thank you for your work on this and collaborating with the county to move this forward. So with that said, Becky, do you have a time and date picked out?
We discussed that, and I think we have to advertise it probably about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I would-
Statute too, it's like once each week for something, I don't see a request after.
Honestly, you should probably fall about the same time as the 1 and 6, so I would just go a week after that.
Okay.
The 10th? March 10th?
That works for me.
Yeah, works for me.
Do you have a time
Just
available?
do it at 10, 10.
That works for me.
Chair, I would make the motion that we set March 10th, 2025 at 10 a.m. for the Lincoln County General Assistance and Medical Assistance Guidelines for the week hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for March 10th at 10 a.m. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. Very good. Thank you. Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
I see that our emergency management director, Brandon Myers, has made it into our room, and I know that you have an update for us, so we're gonna let Brandon come up and fill us in on the train derailment that we had in east of North Platte yesterday.
And one at Kimball too, huh?
Yes. Actually, we had three.
Oh, boy.
Started Kimball, the one east of North Platte, and then they had one in the yard itself.
Oh, wow.
So
Not a
the
great
yard
day.
itself is usually typical. That's usually something coming off the hump or something that they'll either throw it on purpose or something happens and it gets thrown, but no response on that. But two other big ones were fun. From what I understand, Kimball's was on fire till last night. Update I got this morning is it looks like they're finally laying track out there. So that line should be, hopefully the next day or two, opened and going.
A fire, you say? What was on fire?
Cars, rail cars. I'm not sure exactly. I know it's hazardous materials.
Hazmat was out there, I do know that.
Yeah.
So,
it burning that long, I can only speculate what was on there. But yeah, I haven't heard for sure what they had, so.
No injuries in any of the
Doesn't sound like it.
incidences. Yes.
So that's always a plus. Officially for ours here, they have not officially come out and said what the cause of our derailment is. But there's about 25 cars of looks like corn. So right now, they are laying the panels to try and get track 1 open. They're hoping to have that by 4 p.m. today, so we can at least get one line open and get some trains moving. Could be late tomorrow, early Wednesday, before they get tracks 2 and 3 open. The crossing probably Thursday or Friday before that is actually open and we can get vehicles across there. When it derailed, it tore out a bunch of lines out of the ground that are pertinent to the signals and communication stuff. So once they get the tracks on 2 and 3 laid, then they can start working on those communication and track signal lines. So they're supposed to be keeping me updated kind of regularly. I know they're having a team meeting this afternoon, so hopefully I'll have some more information from them after that. But they've done a pretty good job of stacking trains east of here. Was kind of monitoring how they were stacking them, where they were stacking them. They were being real cognizant of where crossings were, private crossings, trying to keep trains from blocking any private crossings, so.
Was that a 110 shuttle?
Huh?
Was that a 110 corn shuttle that?
Not sure, but it was coming into town and so.
Well, all those go from this side of the Missouri to California.
Yeah.
Places like that, Stockton, and typically if they're going westbound, they're usually a shuttle train unless they're specialty crop set. But typically all those are going to be shuttle shippers, so I assumed it was a shuttle. I didn't.
More than likely it was.
I would anticipate that the FRA is going to do an investigation, and 6 months down the road, we're going to get some kind of report. on the cause, which is typical.
And I have a feeling they'll be focused more right now on the Kimball County, just because that had hazardous materials, but
Yeah.
yeah, between Railroad and FRA, they'll do their investigations and,
Madam Chair, I mean, I was gonna bring this up on the committee, reports. When I was out of town last week, you and I talked, on some legislation that Senator Jacobson has thankfully put forward, and I commend him for being a stalwart when it comes to supporting our railroad community and, the public safety, especially from the public safety aspect. He's introduced LB 37 this legislative session, and I think that it's a little bit more broad encompassing as far as technology, addressing train lengths, which I know that we've seen some derailments related to that in recent past, because we have these long trains that are fully loaded with coal and they're just beating the track up, and the track's not holding up. And so it'd be my ask for this board, that we put together another resolution as we've done in the past when it's come to these types of topics, because it is important to our community, it's important to public safety. And that we have either myself or both of us, Commissioner Rulers, sitting on the legislative committee, go down and actually testify on behalf of Lincoln County for this legislation, this important legislation that Senator Jacobson has introduced, so.
Thank you, Commissioner Bruns. I also believe that LB 37 addresses blocking crossings.
Yep.
Which, if it's a derailment, there's not a lot of control there.
No.
But I was very glad when you called me yesterday, and then you mentioned it just a minute ago, that the railroad has been very cognitive. There are a lot of private crossings, especially east of North Platte,
Yeah.
where if they're backing trains up, waiting, almost 4 or 5 days to get traffic moving in and out of the yard again, that's gonna be a real concern for
Yeah.
those farmers and ranchers and people living in rural residential areas. So, I agree, Chris. I think that a resolution in support of LB 37, I would support that.
Brendan, the length of this train that derailed with the grain cars on it, do you know what the length was?
I don't have that information at the moment.
I think one of the important things that Senator Jacobson's bill does is it requires new technology, and ensuring that the technology that's already in place is actually being used, because it's not always used. And it provides some teeth for recourse when it's not. So, in my opinion, the train lengths and the technology are important aspects when it comes to rail safety.
Brandon, do they have all the equipment when there was 3 incidences in a short span of miles?
Yes.
Do they have
It
proper
sounds like they've got
equipment?
enough. They've got, quite a bit of equipment out there, so.
Clean up and then
Yep.
repair? Okay. Did it do any damage to the private property right along that crossing? Any of the fences come out?
That is still hard to kind of tell.
Yeah.
I'm sure there probably was, just by the amount of grain and the way the trains ended up, so. But from right now, what they do, they'll replace all that as they go along as well, so.
Oh, the railroad will fix
Yeah.
that as
That's
they go?
what I've seen before, so.
Nice. Good to know. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions for Brandon? Thanks for keeping us updated.
Yep.
I appreciate
And
it.
as I get more from them, I'll let you guys know.
Okay, very good.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thanks for the photos you send out.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And I did
Yes.
send more this morning,
I
just
just saw
kind of
them.
there,
I just saw them.
so.
That gives us a pretty good perspective of what you're dealing with.
It looked like a tangled mess
Yes.
of steel and corn.
And I will remind you guys, tomorrow morning, we will have the severe weather posters here in the room to be judged. We'll send our 3 to Lincoln, so.
Very good.
If you have time, come look at them.
Okay, very good. With that, we're going to move on to hear concerns from elected officials, department heads, and their representatives. Sir, do you have something that you want to address with us?
Not right now.
Okay, very good. Tyler, do we have a need for a closed session?
Yes, I do.
Very good.
It'll be short.
May I get a motion pertaining to?
Imminent litigation.
Madam Chair, I would move that we go into closed session in regard to imminent litigation.
Second.
I was going to say legislation.
They're both L's.
And I would need Tammy to stay too.
Very good. So we have a motion and a second for us to go into closed session to address imminent litigation. The board members, our board assistant Tammy White and Tyler Volkmer, our deputy county attorney, will remain in the room. Roll call, please.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye. We will enter closed session at 10:20. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, 10:20. I would seek a motion to come out of closed session.
Madam Chair, I would move that N28 would come out of closed session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Woodruff.
Aye.
Bruns.
Aye.
Hughley.
Aye.
Weems.
Aye.
Wooler.
Aye. We are now to the part of the meeting where there are Lincoln County Commissioner Committee reports. Does anybody have anything to report?
Not that I haven't already brought up.
I just want to report on the wellness program really quick. We did have 66 participate so far, and people can still join if they want to by going to the West Central Health Department. So.
Very good. 66, that's a great number.
Yes.
I'm very impressed with that.
I heard Kent was elected secretary of that Board of Health.
Railroaded would.
Were you at the meeting? Because usually that's how it happens.
yeah.
I got railroaded on the board for West Central Nebraska Development District.
Oh, please, paybacks are, you know what, so. Turnabout is fair play, I got railroaded also. So we're all in good company.
Yes, we are.
I will admit, it's probably one of the boards that I enjoy the most, so. With that said, as our legislative committee chair, which I think I got voluntold into also, I did go to Lincoln last week at the request of NACO to represent Lincoln County and NACO, and testified on LB 468, which is the inheritance tax bill. There was a lot of good testimony, both for, and there was some opposition, but Senator Jacobson is the vice chair of the Revenue Committee, and Senator Von Gillerin, the chair, had to step out. So Senator Jacobson chaired most of the hearing. He asks informed, intelligent questions, runs a really good, respectable meeting, and NACO felt very good at the end of the session. So, and then behind me, Sergeant Larry Meyer from the Sheriff's Office testified on behalf of Lincoln County for a bill. So lots going on in our Capitol building. We have an opportunity to watch that. So stay tuned, and Chris and I will keep giving you updates. So Tyler, I don't know that we ever said it, but you will work with Chris on a resolution for the Senator Jacobson's bill.
Did you get that letter?
Very good. Does anybody have anything else? With that, we will adjourn at 10:31.